Hello and welcome to the English Box. Today we are going to talk about phrasal verbs with the verb to talk. I'm going to begin by telling you a story. My story is called He Just Won't Talk. He wasn't as talkative as the other suspects. They were all talk, but this guy never once talked back, and just sat there as I talked at him. I wondered if he was perhaps not the brightest spark, but was careful not to talk down to him. I delved deeper. I wanted to know who had planned the robbery, and I was pretty sure he knew. I had to talk him round. I had to talk him into giving us some information. So I offered him a deal. As we talked over the deal, I made sure to talk it up. He would get off with a lenient sentence if he agreed to grass on some of his accomplices. But as much as I talked it through, he just couldn't be talked out of his stubborn loyalty to his partners in crime. Now you will have noticed a few phrasal verbs with the verb to talk in that story. We had to talk back, to talk at, to talk down to talk round, to talk into, to talk over, to talk up, to talk through, and to talk out of. You may have even guessed the meaning of these different phrasal verbs from the context of the story. But we're going to look at some of the definitions now. So let's begin with to talk back. To talk back means to reply rudely or impolitely to someone. For example, you shouldn't talk back to your teacher. Number 2 is to talk at. To talk at someone means to speak to someone without listening to him or her. There is no dialogue, it's just a kind of monologue. You don't pay any attention to them. For example, my boss just talks at me and doesn't listen to my ideas. Number 3, to talk down to. To talk down to means to speak to someone as if he or she were inferior to you. For example, the supermodel talked down to her assistant. Number 4, to talk round. This means to persuade, or it can also mean to skirt the main point, to talk about something else other than the most important information. For example, the CEO talked around or round the potential takeover. Number 5, to talk into. To talk into means to persuade. It has a similar meaning to talk round. For example, I talked him into going on the roller coaster. Moving on to number 6, to talk over. To talk over means to discuss a problem or a situation before making a decision. For example, let's talk over the dispute tomorrow when we're calm. To talk up means to speak enthusiastically about something or someone to generate interest. For example, he talked up his new girlfriend before I met her. Number 8, to talk through. To explain. This means to explain something to help someone understand. For example, the doctor talked through the procedure with the patient. Number 9 is to talk out of. You have to talk into or to talk someone into something, and you have to talk someone out of something, which has the opposite meaning. So it means to dissuade or to persuade someone not to do something. For example, she talked him out of watching the film 300 because it's terrible. Now we have some exercises. There are 3 sentences, and in each sentence there is one phrasal verb with the verb to talk, but the preposition or particle is missing. Therefore, it is your job to choose the correct particle for that sentence. When you've decided on the correct answer, you can leave those answers on one of our many social networks, including Facebook, including Twitter, 7load, and of course YouTube in the comments section below. That brings us to the end of the video. If you enjoyed the video, you could subscribe if you haven't already. And if you'd like to see some related videos, then you can click on the respective panel for phrasal verb videos about look, take, use, and turn. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.